We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Indian Prime Minister Modi pays homage to memory of freedom fighter V.D. Savarkar in Marseille. Will pay tributes at Mazak War Cemetery with French President Macron. Inauguration of Indian Consulate General also on the agenda. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US Vice President J.D. Vance meet on the sidelines of Paris AI Summit, discuss diversifying India's energy sourcing. Prime Minister Modi to visit US on the second leg of his two-nation visit. US President Trump reiterates his idea of owning a rebuilt Gaza Strip under US authority, faces pushback from visiting Jordanian King Abdullah II, Egypt to present a vision for reconstruction without exiling Palestinians. Israel threatens to resume Gaza fighting if hostages not released by Saturday. Trump also reiterates Saturday deadline for Gaza hostage release. And ahead of meeting with US Vice President J.D. Vance, Ukrainian President Zelenskyy offers land swaps amid peace talks with Russia. On to the details now. After the Paris leg of his France visit, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in the historic French city of Marseille. At the airport, Prime Minister Modi was accorded a guard of honor. During this, French President Emmanuel Macron was also present. Prime Minister Modi is in Marseille to inaugurate a new Consulate General of India with French President Emmanuel Macron. The leaders have a series of engagements planned for Wednesday, including a visit to the Mazak War Cemetery to honor the sacrifice of Indian soldiers who died fighting in the world wars. Well, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in a social media post on X, spoke of Marseille and how the city holds special significance in India's quest for freedom. He added that it was here that the great Veer Savarkar attempted a courageous escape. Prime Minister thanked the people of Marseille and the French activists of that time who demanded that Savarkar should not be handed over to British custody. He also spoke about the bravery of Veer Savarkar that continues to inspire generations. And upon his arrival at the hotel in Marseille, Prime Minister Modi received a rousing welcome from the joyous members of the Indian diaspora. The warm reception highlighted the large number of Indian community members who reside in France and are key contributors to the country's development. Well, after participating in the AI Action Summit in Paris, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the India-France CEO Forum. In his address, Prime Minister Modi mentioned that by the year 2047, the people of India have set the goal of making the country a developed nation. He invited the CEOs present at the CEO Forum to join in India's journey of development.
भारत के 1.4 बिलियन लोगों ने 2047 तक विकसित भारत का संकल्प लिया है। चाहे डिफेंस हो या एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी, फिनटेक हो या फार्मा, टेक हो या टेक्सटाइल, एग्रीकल्चर हो या एविएशन, हेल्थ केयर हो या हाईवेज, स्पेस हो या सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट। आप सभी साथियों के लिए इन सभी क्षेत्रों में इन्वेस्टमेंट्स और कोलैबोरेशंस की अनेक संभावनाएं हैं। मैं आप सभी को भारत की विकास यात्रा से जुड़ने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूं। जब फ्रांस की फिनेस और भारत का स्केल मिलेगा, जब भारत का पेस और फ्रांस का प्रिसिजन मिलेगा, जब फ्रांस की टेक्नोलॉजी और भारत का टैलेंट मिलेगा, तो सिर्फ बिजनेस लैंडस्केप ही नहीं, ग्लोबल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होगा।
Well, Prime Minister Modi also mentioned that India's identity on the global stage today is that it is rapidly becoming a preferred global investment destination. Referring to the reformative steps being taken in the country, he emphasized that this is the right time for investment.
आज भारत डाइवर्सिफिकेशन और डी रिस्किंग का सबसे बड़ा केंद्र बनता जा रहा है। कुछ दिन पहले हमारे बजट में न्यू जनरेशन रिफॉर्म्स अंकित किए गए हैं। ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस के लिए नए कदम उठाए हैं। पिछले कुछ वर्षों में हमने 40,000 से अधिक कंप्लायंसेस को रेशनलाइज किया है। ट्रस्ट बेस्ड इकोनॉमिक गवर्नेंस को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए एक हाई लेवल कमिटी फॉर रेगुलेटरी रिफॉर्म्स गठित की है। कस्टम रेट स्ट्रक्चर को रेशनलाइज किया है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय व्यापार को आसान करने के लिए डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की मदद से भारत ट्रेड नेट की शुरुआत की जा रही है। ईज ऑफ लिविंग की दिशा में नया सिंप्लीफाइड इनकम टैक्स कोड हम ले आ रहे हैं। नेशनल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग मिशन की घोषणा की है और नए सेक्टर्स जैसे कि इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर को 100% एफडीआई के लिए खोल दिया गया है। इन सब इनिशिएटिव्स को आप जरूर ध्यान से स्टडी करें। मैं आप सबको कहता हूं कि भारत में आने का यही समय है, सही समय है।
Well, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi met US Vice President J.D. Vance and his Indian origin wife Usha, along with their two young sons, on the sidelines of the AI Action Summit in Paris on Tuesday. Prime Minister Modi posted images of the meeting on X, showing him with the Vance family, including their sons Ivan and Vivek. The Prime Minister's post read, and I quote, "Had a wonderful meeting with US Vice President J.D. Vance and his family. We had a great conversation on various subjects. Delighted to join them in celebrating the joyous birthday of their son, Vivek," unquote. Well, earlier in a video shared by Indian Prime Minister's office, the Prime Minister was seen holding talks with Vance while his wife watched on. It came soon after Vance's address at the summit, in which he welcomed Modi's positive stance on AI as co-chair of the conference with France. And after wrapping up the France leg of his visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will head to the United States for a two-day visit. The visit aims to herald a renewed and substantive Indo-US partnership, with issues ranging from trade to tariffs to immigration and strengthening strategic ties are likely to figure in the Modi-Trump talks. Lead India correspondent Amritpal Singh and Shubhendu Ghosh report from Washington, D.C.
When Prime Minister Narendra Modi lands at Maryland's Joint Base Andrews on Thursday, he will be one of the first few global leaders to meet the US President Donald Trump early in his second presidency. The early visit signals a strategic push to strengthen India-US ties under the new administration.
The Prime Minister has been invited to visit the US within barely 3 weeks of the new administration taking office, shows the importance of the India-US partnership and is also reflective of the bipartisan support that this partnership enjoys in the United States.
Key discussions would include defense ties, trade tariffs and investment.
While the Trump administration engages in tariff tussles with a number of allies and adversaries, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will look to iron out the strains and consolidate on the gains in the India-US trade partnership. This time, the partnership could be deepened in the domain of energy, defense and critical technologies.
For both countries, the stakes are high as the bilateral trade stands at $118 billion, with a surplus of about $32 billion in India's favor in 2023. Strengthening security and defense ties will also be discussed in Washington, D.C. Potential purchases of weapon systems and technology, including the Stryker military vehicles and the Javelin anti-tank missiles, could figure in the talks. When Prime Minister Modi comes visiting the White House on Thursday, apart from trade and immigration, the focus of the Modi-Trump talks would be on strengthening the defense ties, fast-tracking military acquisitions and joint production of weapon systems, especially strengthening the strategic partnership in the Indo-Pacific. With my colleague Shobhendu Ghosh and cameraman S. Jaishankar, this is Amritpal Singh in Washington, D.C.
Well, Israel's Prime Minister has warned Hamas it will end the ceasefire in Gaza and resume intense fighting if the Palestinian group does not return hostages by Saturday noon. There's a report explaining what each side is saying and others reacting.
Only 3 weeks into a fragile ceasefire, and Israel and Hamas are already firing accusations and counter-allegations at each other, each blaming the other for souring the deal. The weekly hostage exchange may now be disrupted after Hamas accused Israel of violating the agreement and said it would postpone Saturday's hostage release until further notice. Israel has hit back, with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying late that the Gaza ceasefire will end if Hamas does not release hostages as planned on Saturday.
The decision that I passed unanimously in the cabinet is this: if Hamas does not return our hostages by Saturday noon, the ceasefire will end, and the military will return to intense fighting until Hamas is finally defeated.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held a meeting with his political and security cabinet on Tuesday, where they discussed the next possible steps.
In light of Hamas' announcement of its decision to violate the agreement and not release our hostages, last night I ordered the military to gather forces inside and around the Gaza Strip. This operation is being carried out at this time. It will be completed in the very near future.
US President Donald Trump has urged Israel to let all hell break out and cancel the ceasefire and hostages deal if Hamas does not return those still being held in Gaza by Saturday.
As far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out.
The ongoing political tensions halted trucks carrying aid movement at the Rafah border crossing. Egypt rejected forced displacement in Gaza reconstruction plan and instead offered a comprehensive proposal to rebuild Gaza while ensuring Palestinians remain on their land. Jordan King's sit down with Trump put Abdullah in a delicate situation. While Jordan and the US have historically had strong ties, Trump has repeatedly pressurized Abdullah and his government to accept displaced Palestinians from conflict-torn Gaza. But King Abdullah did not agree to Trump's plan.
I truly believe that with all the challenges that we have in the Middle East, that I finally see somebody that can take us across the finish line to bring stability, peace, and prosperity to all of us in the region. And it is, I think, our collective responsibility in the Middle East to continue to work with you, to support you, to achieve those lofty goals.
Other world leaders also reacted. Lebanon's Prime Minister said the state must be in control of all Lebanese territory days before a deadline to implement the Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire agreement, while Saudi Arabia has denounced extremist Israeli comments advocating the displacement of Palestinians. Bureau Report, DD India.
And some updates on Ukraine-Russia conflict now. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy will meet US Vice President J.D. Vance on Friday at the Munich Security Conference, where they are set to discuss Washington's push for an end to the three-year conflict with Russia. The US delegation to the top European Security Conference taking place between February 14th and 16th will also include Secretary of State Marco Rubio and President Trump's Special Envoy for Ukraine and Russia, Keith Kellogg. The meeting with Vance comes with Donald Trump pushing for a swift end to the conflict, and after the US president said that he would probably meet with Zelenskyy personally in the coming days. Meanwhile, ahead of the meeting, Zelenskyy offered land swaps in negotiations with Russia. The offer comes as Russia freed an American prisoner, Mark Fogel, a school teacher, after being held captive since August 2021. Fogel got a flag-waving welcome from U.S. President Donald Trump at a snowy White House on Tuesday after a flight home from Moscow. Thanking Putin, Trump said that Fogel's release could be a big important part of ending the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And in Sri Lanka, the High Commission of India in Kelaniya, Mahaviharya, launched 5 Sinhala translated books on Jatka tales. The book launch was held on the occasion of Navampoya Day, which commemorates the appointment of first 2 chief disciples of Buddha, most vulnerable Professor K.M.S. Thero and Deputy High Commissioner of India, Dr. Satyanjal Pandey, released the books. The books have been translated into Sinhala and published by Amar Chitra Katha. Over 5,000 books will be distributed across Dhamma schools in the island nation. In addition, an exhibition on shared Buddhist heritage was also inaugurated on the occasion. And still to come in this edition of DD Live. Millions of devotees gather for Maghi Purnima Snan as part of the grand Mahakumbh Mela. And in sports, holders Real Madrid scripts remarkable comeback to stun Manchester City in Champions League knockout phase playoff tie. Well, elephants, fire dancers and drummers shine as Sri Lanka celebrates annual Buddhist festival.
Prasar Bharati, in collaboration with IIT Delhi and Software Technology Parks of India, is organizing the DD Robocon 2025 this year as well. In this National Robotic Championship, engineering students will get ample opportunities to showcase their ingenuity and potential. The national selection for this championship will be held on the 12th and 13th of July, and the winning team will get an opportunity to participate in the International ABU Robocon Championship to be held in Mongolia in August this year. So, hurry up! The last date of registration is the 16th of February. For more information, log on to www.ddrobocon.iitd.ac.in.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Kuran, and moving on, this year's Pariksha Pe Charcha featured a special episode on mental health and well-being, with Bollywood actress Deepika Padukone engaging with students in the second episode. Deepika talked about the significance of mental well-being, particularly in the context of education. The students asked the actress about the key actions to boost their mental health, to which she emphasized the importance of self-expression, encouraging students to never suppress their feelings.
हमारे देश में बहुत स्टिग्मा होता था मेंटल इलनेस को लेकर. डिप्रेशन, एंजाइटी, स्ट्रेस कभी भी किसी को भी हो सकता है. जैसे श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने उनके किताब एग्जाम वॉरियर्स में भी लिखा है, एक्सप्रेस नेवर सप्रेस. इट रियली टेक्स ऑफ अ लॉट ऑफ वेट ऑफ योर शोल्डर्स. एंड व्हेन यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर एग्जाम्स इन पर्टिकुलर, you start feeling better. You feel like अच्छा अब मैं एग्जाम पे मैं फोकस कर सकती हूँ क्योंकि मेरा जो इशू है मैं उसके बारे में मैंने बात किया है. And you're able to just focus and live a healthier, better life.
Well, Prime Minister Modi launched the 8th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha on Monday with an interaction with students at Delhi's iconic Sundar Nursery, where he shared tips with students on managing exam stress, the benefits of meditation and leadership. In addition to Padukone, several other notable personalities, including Bollywood stars France Marceille and Bhumi Patnekar, spiritual leader Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev, and Indian boxer Mary Kom will participate in the event. Now to all the latest from the Mahakumbh, the largest religious congregation in the world. Well, millions of devotees thronged the ghats of Triveni Sangam in North Indian city of Prayagraj to take a holy dip on the occasion of Magh Purnima today. Magh Purnima is a holy occasion for bathing in the Triveni Sangam, the confluence of rivers Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. It is believed that taking a holy dip on this full moon day cleanses the soul, washes away sins and brings blessings from the divine. Since early morning, thousands of devotees have already taken a holy dip at Triveni Sangam and other ghats. Millions more are making their way to the Sangam nose to participate in the sacred ritual. With today's holy dip, the month-long Kalpavas will conclude and nearly 10 lakh Kalpavasis will begin departing from the Mahakumbh. These pilgrims have been fasting, meditating and engaging in prayers since Paush Purnima, marking a period of deep self-discipline and devotion. Well, DD India's Dibyendu Mondal files this special report from Mahakumbh, Prayagraj. Take a look.
This is the heart of spirituality in India, where millions have gathered for Maghi Purnima, an occasion steeped in religious and cultural significance. Pilgrims believe that taking a holy dip on this full moon day cleanses the soul, washes away sins, and brings blessings from the divine. The convergence of the Ganga, Yamuna, and the mythical Saraswati rivers forms the sacred site where faith meets tradition in an awe-inspiring display of devotion. For many, Maghi Purnima marks a time of renewal. The day is symbolic of the deep-rooted belief that spiritual merit is gained through purification of the body and soul. The rituals here reflect a timeless connection between humanity and the divine, carried forward through centuries of faith. With millions pouring into the city, the Uttar Pradesh government has ramped up security measures. The Kumbh Mela is not just a spiritual hub, but also a logistic marvel. Additional security forces have been deployed across the city, with barricades set up to ensure the smooth movement of the masses. In the sprawling Mela grounds, thousands of police officers are managing crowd control, while announcements are constantly being made to guide pilgrims through designated routes. The local administration is working round the clock to ensure the safety and well-being of the devotees. Special emphasis is being placed on maintaining law and order, preventing any untoward incidents, and ensuring a safe experience for all. As the Mahakumbh inches closer to its conclusion, this second-to-last holy dip carries great significance. The faithful believe that the blessings attend on this day will stay with them for the rest of their lives, ushering in peace, prosperity, and spiritual growth.
As millions of devotees from across the country continues to throng the holy city of Prayagraj, the Sangam behind me is preparing for the holy dip tomorrow on the occasion of Maghi Purnima. So is the city of Prayagraj and its security establishment, who have put up strict vigil, not just on the roads but also through the skies. This is Dibyendu Mondal from Prayagraj for DD India.
Well, people across India commemorated the birth anniversary of Guru Ravidas on February 12th as Guru Ravidas Jayanti, a revered 15th century saint and poet who played a key role in the Bhakti movement. His teachings emphasized social equality, harmony and justice, inspiring generations. The mystic poet saint played a key role in Bhakti movement and also was a social reformer. He was a strong advocate of the elimination of casteism and gender-based inequality. The occasion is widely observed across northern India, particularly in states like Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Chandigarh. Celebrations typically include religious processions, devotional music and community gatherings where followers come together to honor his legacy. And in sports, an update on Champions League now. Holders Real Madrid twice came from behind and scored 2 late goals to secure a 3-2 win against Manchester City in a thrilling first leg of the UEFA Champions League knockout phase playoff tie. Jude Bellingham's late goal completed a stunning comeback from Madrid, who twice came from behind to clinch a narrow first-leg advantage. City led 2-1 after 80 minutes at the Etihad Stadium through goals in each half from Erling Haaland. But Brahim Diaz and then Bellingham silenced the home crowd and extended a sorry record for City that has seen it concede 7 goals in the last 15 minutes of Champions League games this season. Both teams meet again in second leg next week at Bernabeu. And Sri Lanka's capital, Colombo, came alive with the sounds of drums and colourful lights as crowds gather to watch majestic elephants and performers on the annual Buddhist festival, Namam Pera Pera. Take a look. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. Well, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Vipak Shikurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.